Right, good morning, everybody. I hope you're more awake than I am, even though I've been up for a few hours, probably 3-4 hours already. But I've been working, and we worked late. For those of you that are not aware, you can watch the video. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, David. And I don't know, focus on Discord. Okay, now you're the only two guys here. Good morning.
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 Right, so apologies I'm late. But I had issues with my PC as well. It scrambled all my icons yesterday, and I had to put everything back in place. And as I have all these screens in front of me, I have certain places where I need to put everything, or my OCD will kill me. And I was busy sitting working on that and installing scenery and checking this and that and the other, and then the time just ran away from me. I wonder if the other guys who booked their slots are still there or if they've left already. Let's get WebEye open while we wait. We can also do the planning so long. Let's see, I have a WebEye. X84 is in the air already. There's one. I'm going to be spawning somewhere there, right by the tower. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It's somewhere there by the tower. Or one of the towers at least. Right, sorry. And I've just realized I never put that up. There you go. There you can see there's X84 and two of our other friends. There's another one. He's not in my friends list. Why? Let's add him. Who's that? That's not a tick sky. That's not a tick sky. Right, so there's 4 guys flying with me then. There's the other one. Okay. Okay. Then need to get edge sorted. Right. Here's edge. Yeah, we're in edge now, so let's move this thing out of the way. Let's look at the planning. So what we have is a 3-6 left and a right situation. If we look at Navigraph, let's do it this way. We look at Navigraph. I've already looked at the briefing. So during our time slot, arrivals will be 3.2s and departures 3.6. That's the preferential runways. So where I'm situated and where the other guys are, they'll take 36 left, I'll take 36 right. And so I'm somewhere there, and I see those guys seem to be somewhere there. So 36 right for me. Right. Oh my goodness, that first one is a horrible SID. Alright, so we'll take that one. Right, then if we look at edge and we now look at our arrival, there's 0 wind, so it's much of a muchness. We can use anyone, but let's go check. Let's go check the lay of the land and the whole layout there. Let's see what will work for us. Not sure if they've got preferential runways. Takeoff runway usage to 6:35 right is to be used. That is from 6 in the morning until the evenings. Okay, upon a tailwind component less or equal to 7 knots. 35 left and right should be used. Okay, let's pin that. Then let's go look at that airport. Right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to land 35 right. Just my pick. Okay. Right. Wow, that looks weird. Look at that turn there. Wow. What happens if we take 35 left? Same story. I wonder, there might be some buildings or something there. Eh? Okay, let's stick to 35 left then rather. It's just less of a hassle, I think. Ah, it's about the VOR. Okay, so it might not really be a turn. It might just obviously then be the way it's, you know, drawn. Okay. Right, so we have...
The guy had his finger stuck over the end of the ruler as he was drawing it on the map.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, okay, right, so we've got the briefing, we've got the airport, the sit, the star, the approach, the briefing, and the airport. We've got everything we need, so let's go copy this. Are you flying with, Paul?
Not today, Nico.
Okay. Hello. Wife just came back. 36 right. Guys, just a matter of a caution. Please be careful when you land at Madrid, Barajas, or take off. You have to read those notes because you can't take off over the terminals or land over the terminals. So SimBrief does never really differentiate between that, and a lot of guys make the mistake. They just trust it blindly because they never check. So just be careful when you use SimBrief. Go check, make sure you use the right runways. Okay, we said 35 left. Did we? Yes, 35 left. Right. Set star. Right, my time. Yeah, we should be good for that time. And to ask SimBrief to give us a altitude, flight level. Let's generate this sucker. Developer aircraft reload. Good morning, Scotsman. How are you doing? $350. There's no step climbs. Okay, 350 it is. Get rid of you and go check. Looking good. Okay. Right there. Okay, so we are now using 352 RC2.1 for the record. Let's do some cleaning for a minute. Get this baby spotless. Been up from 3 AM flying. Oh my goodness. I only went to bed after 1. Let me just see the last time I spoke with Zibo. What time was that? Yeah, we said our goodbyes just after 1 AM this morning. So I reckon from about 1:30 AM I was in bed. So, and then I was wide awake at 6. You know, zombie mode until now. wide awake zombie mode. But you get the idea. I was just awake. I couldn't sleep anymore, and then I went into this zombie mode. We're getting out of it slowly. It's happening. We're taking it in our stride. Right. Ground handling. Show the control widget. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Zibo quickly wanted us to test this new pressurization code and stuff. I'll show you guys a couple of things just now, just before we get going. Right, that's it. Let's connect to Iveo so you can see the other guys. There we go. Thank you to everybody that came flying with us, David. I see you are here with us, obviously. And then there's Anthony. I'm not sure it's 6232 at this time. Group flight. 84's Yaku. Yeah, he left already. Anyway, whoever 232 is, thank you for joining. No, Scotsman, it's running. It's running. Here it is, look. There it is. It's running. Mohammed, no, you can't just download it just before flying. I've had this authors for a while. Now, I want to tell you something. I updated my LEMD scenery this morning quickly, like half an hour ago. The cloud cover is making it difficult for me to discern whether my authors are still working or not. What has also been given to us in the new update is the patch to make our own author. Now, I'm not sure whether I got the patch from Dimitri, whether that's how I got it, or whether I jippoed the system, or exactly what happened. But my authors were working here. You can look in the stream when we flew in here. You know, it was definitely working. So it could be, and there's one way to check it very nicely. It could be that I might have jippoed the system. But if you look at the elevation difference here at the tower. You see, there's multiple elevation differences and things. If you don't do the authors correctly, this elevation difference here goes away. It looks wonky. It looks funny. Yeah, Anthony, I took it out. Sorry. Sorry about that. I noticed it a few seconds ago. Remember, there's a bit of a delay between me and you. So anyway, there it is. See, so if you do the authors correctly, this must also be correct. And that's where the patch thing comes in. You know, so then all the elevations and everything is correct at this airport. But as we take off and turn around and fly back, don't worry, Anthony. As we do that, we'll see if the mesh that is currently in here is now blocking the authors, which means I need to go make that patch. So we'll get there. We'll sort it out. There was just not enough time this morning. Scotsman, the best I can ask you is take a screenshot, put it in VA support, sir. Maybe reboot your system, clear your cookies, cookies and cache, make sure they're gone. See if that helps. Other than that, I honestly don't know. Because mine is working.
Ground to cockpit, pan acknowledge, call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay. Right. Right. So while we are at the EFP, let's talk about this. Then we can do the weights and everything. So in failures, the new addition that we have now from this morning is the air system failures. Okay, so what Zibo did is he went and elaborated on the stuff I showed you yesterday. He took the whole air system a little bit further with all the different startups where you can start up engine 1 from APU or from the ASU. You can start up engine 2 in a cross bleed, engine 1 in a cross bleed, or you can use the APU. There's various different scenarios. What's the right word I'm looking for? The options, is expanded quite a bit on how you can start it and what you have to do. So apart from the fuel system that is done, he's now done the pressurization and air systems and everything, and you can come and simulate your failures here if you really want to. So that's brand new. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. It was rather fun testing it after midnight last night, so it was nice. Then weights, fuel, right. .2. And the fuel is going to be 6.1. There we go. Right, I think just for our sake, Paul, I'm going to use the ASU to do the startup, not the APU. Okay. Then we can compare it with what happened last night. Okay, so let's do that. Let's get the starter unit going. Hello, Krister. Good morning. Right, so don't know if you guys have ever seen me do it, but there is the air starter unit. And you can hear it in the background there spinning up. So when we go look at our duct pressure, you can see it's quite high. Yes, Mohammed. Right, yeah, it's getting nice and running on the back end there. Ooh, listen to that sound. That's amazing. So there's no APU. Abiolo 7X, good morning. Righto, okay. Let's continue setting up while that oak gets warm. So I'll keep you now.
Captain Hatch, on the fasten seatbelt sign, we do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and push fasten your seatbelt.
But we've got flight level 350.
Properly away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
See, we've got tower on.
Ah. I don't know if I really wanted tower, but I'm not going to complain. Just not sure I wanted him. 650. For the landing. No damper. Alright. I think we're going to turn away from that VOR before we get there. Tattoo John, good morning, welcome. Nice to see you again. Actual fact, let's put that on. I see we've got 047. It's just a navigational aid. It means really nothing to us, but it's there. I don't know what the initial is. It's going to give us, so let's keep it to about 10. I'm bargaining on 36, right? So that'll be 001. Let's guess about 148. Why not? Ooh, I don't think I exported this already. Hold on. Go back, and flights. Export, and export. And we're going to start talking to the ATC just now to confirm sits and stars. Well, at least the SID, at least. Right, so we have information. Bravo, stand, what was my stand number? 556, Bravo 738. Deposit on 96, right, okay, flight level, transition is 140. Wait a minute, let's do this. You can see the ATIS as well. Here's my ATIS. Madrid Tower, good morning. Skymatix 001 is Bravo 738, stand 556. We have information Bravo, requesting IFR clearance to Casablanca asphalt.
Skymatix 001 during morning shift. Instrumental 5 and to Casablanca receive on approach. Instrumental departure, Villa Tobas 5 Lima, Victor Tango Bravo 5 Lima. Active language is 6 left, initial King 1 CRISA traffic and squad at 422.
So I love your attempt there, but I can hardly hear what you're saying. Is it possible you can text me?
Copy.
Thank you, sorry for the inconvenience. I hate doing that to the poor guy, but I really couldn't hear him there. There we go. What? VDB5 Lima. VDB5 Lima. Okay, VDB5 Lima. Alright, okay, right. I can take a L or an R. VDB5. What Lima? VTP 5 Romeo. 5 Romeo. Where's 5 Romeo? Come on. I don't see. Maybe I'm going too fast. There's a VTB 5 Lima. I don't want 5 Lima. VTB 1 Romeo. Yeah, I agree with you. There's not a 5 Romeo. In his text, he says there's a VTB 5 left or right. I don't see a right. All the VTBs here are listed. No, that thing doesn't zoom in. Come on. I don't want to go to Lima. I'm on the right hand side. Sorry, Paul?
I'm just squinting to read. Have you still got runway right at the top?
Yes. I want to use right. So on the right hand side, I've got VTB 7 Whiskey. That I can use. Okay. Madrid Tower Skymatix 001.
Skymatix 001 go ahead.
So I do not see a Victor Tango Bravo 5 Romeo. I've got Victor Tango Bravo 7 Whiskey for runway 36 Romeo. Can we use that one, please? Let's do the rest while we wait for him.
Skymatix 001, Villa Tobas 7 Whiskey 36 right for you.
Thank you so much, appreciated. So my read back, we're going to be using runway 36 right on the Victor Tango Bravo 7 Whiskey. The initial climb altitude is 13,000 feet, squawk 1422, Skymatix 001.
Skymatix 001, the body is correct.
Righto. Okay, we did something right. So let's set this to 13,000 quickly. Ach, nee man.
Madrid Tower, good morning. Skymatix 052 on stand 510 with information Bravo requesting IFR clearance to Casablanca as filed.
It is VTB, Christer, it's the same thing, but now look at this, look in the Zibo, it's got VTB 1 Romeo, and in Navigraph it's got 7 Whiskey. There is no 1 Romeo that I can see. There it is now, look, there it is now. Oh, sorry guys, let me show you. I swear I did not see it. Unless I've been absolutely talking nonsense, which is very possible. I'm going to take the 7 Whiskey. I mean, it's just a much better departure, and we've already discussed it. I don't want to go and cause more hassle.
Departing on runway 36 left for the Victor Tango Bravo 5 Lima departure. Initial climb 13,000 and squawk.
I must be going mad with this sleep deprivation. I do apologize, guys, for watching, that are watching. Sorry.
Correct.
I do apologize, but we're getting there. Yeah, no, cool. I appreciate it, Krister. I just feel stupid when I'm looking for something, I can't see it, and then afterwards it pops up. So maybe I just need new glasses as well. We shouldn't leave that out of the equation. It's very possible. Again, this thing is now talking about the TUSOR 3 Alpha. There's the Navigraph 1 TUSOR 1 Alpha. I don't know. There's the 3 Alpha. Let's see what it looks like. See what's the difference. Ach, it's just a little bit wider. So, TUSOR 3 Alpha. Fine, then we just use it. Yeah, you guys that were up late with me, Shaima. Sorry to keep you up so late. But it was fun. It was one of those nice things. I liked it. Even through all the tiredness. Anyway, let's go on. Right, let's get that ATIS again. We have got QNH 1021. Right. Right. Looks good to me. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? 60.3, 66. Up, cool. Reserves will be, let's make it 2.1. Next 20. Hello, good morning. Yes, but I updated my scenery. I mentioned it earlier in the stream this morning. I updated the scenery to the latest version, so I'm not sure what the effect would be. In the new scenery, they've included an auto patch for the scenery. Alright, so I might have to redo this one tile. We won't know until we get in the air because the cloud cover is preventing me from actually just zooming around and seeing what's happening. Imagine the weather updates now and we look outside, there's not a cloud covering. I'll go, what's this guy talking about? That'll be the cherry on the cake today, I swear. And check how good we guessed. One out. Good morning, Yaku. Nice. Yeah, thank you. Enjoy your flight as well. Right.
Tower Skymatix 052, requesting push and start.
Skymatix 052, start approach.
Come on. What up? My trim wheel is deader than dead. Ha!
Push to start, approved Skymatix 052.
Skymatix 052, start approach structure, approach facing south.
And push back facing south, Skymatix 052.
Tower Skymatix 001, we're ready for the push and start. Be advised, we're going to use the air starter unit in place.
Skymatix 001, start up and push back approach facing north.
Thank you, sir. Facing north, Skymatix 001. Righto, so this is where the fun begins. We don't have the APU bleed. We leave all of these things as is. A starter unit is providing the duct pressure. Let's have a look there. And the first engine to start will be number 1. So before we do that, let us tell these guys they may leave. Ground services, request the pushback. Closing all the doors. Beacon light goes on.
The cabins. Verify arm door. Stand by for all call.
Sorry, Tris, thank you so much. Right, okay, so while all that is happening, let's go check again and then starting engine number 1.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Right, let's go check the duct pressure. Now, okay, what do we need to do? Sorry, you know, see, I almost forgot. Ground services ASU needs to be switched off.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, hold your horses, son. Hold your horses. Okay, that is gone. That is not a problem. Let's go.
Starting pushback.
Okay, freaking damn it. I almost forgot. I just remembered I had to switch that on. Otherwise, we would lose our power. Right, okay, so there we are. Now, to start the engine, we said we need 30% duct pressure. So let's move this throttle 1. There's that thing. Let me show you guys this thing. Let me show you something interesting. Right. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes. Right, just bring it down a little bit. I did about 30%. Right, see if it stabilizes. There you can see 30%. 30%. Right. That needs to be 30% for successful engine start. So let's have a look, see that it spins up. Okay, it seems to be hanging short again, Paul. Am I reading it right? Look.
Operation complete. Set parking
Just
brake.
let your video catch up.
Yeah. I'm streaming here in Discord quickly for you. Look at the N2 and the N1.
Yes.
Tower Skymatix 052, ready for taxi.
So as we increase the throttle now, the duct pressure increases and it enables us to start. But we have to give a lot of power. That's a lot.
the taxi via Echo Alpha Gate 1, 2, and then that hold short for 36, the hold for 36 left.
I just feel that we have to give way too much power for this. From what Sasso told us and what we did last night, I think I need to read up maybe more, I don't know, but something's up. Right, so we can put that one on, bring back our throttle, we don't need that anymore. Now just to show you guys a little bit of system depth, right, if you look here at this valve, there it says engine 2 9th value, and there it says engine 1 9th value. See, it's at 1 and it's stable, so basically the valve is closed. Okay, so now to look at system depth, the way that it's now the one thing working and, you know, interfacing with the next thing, and the whole modeling that's happened. If we increase our thrust now, you'll see at some point in time it's going to open the valve to relieve some pressure. There you go, it's opening. See there, that number there, and look, it's going to close it again. There, it's closed. Same with that one. And then when we bring it back, it's going to go through the same thing. At a certain point, the valve actually opens, and then it lets the pressure out and it closes. How's that? It's nice. For me, system depth is nice. There's Zibo. Hello Zibo, am I saying it correct? Okay, I'm going to try it again, Zibo. He says I'm giving too much power, basically. I think if that's what you're saying. Zibo, give me a second. We will quickly kill this engine and we shall try again. So the only thing I can think of, if this is now what Zibo is saying, is I shouldn't look here at the duct pressure. I should look there. We must be at 33% N1. That should then give us the correct pressure there. Okay, that's what I interpret as. Good morning, Gio. Don't know if I said good morning, but yeah. Let's see if we can do that. So let it just pull down quickly. I can try again. But again, everything that we're talking about now just points to more and more system depth, which is amazing. When last did somebody tell you, Paul, that you're starting from an unregular zone? You should not start with pressure in the 5th stage.
Happens weekly to me.
Is it?
All the time. I'm always in the wrong zone.
Alright, well, okay, it's dead now. Right, so let's zoom in. Let that guy go away. So now we're going to go for 33% N1.
052, are you ready for the capacity?
I am ready for departure, comment 052.
Paul, give me a second. The ATC is talking. Say again.
Can we look at the duct pressure when you've got it?
Yeah, of course.
Skymatix 052, via Nova 5 Lima, 36 left, wing guard.
You see, okay. I think I know what I did wrong. I obviously looked up here, right? Now at the same time,
5 Lima,
ATC.
runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff, Skymatix 052.
So at the same time, I was bragging about all these different stages and everything that's happening, but I didn't realize that we went through to the next stage instead of staying in the 1st stage, if you understand what I mean, you know. So the way to do it, obviously, is correct, as Zibo just said. There, 33%. Now if we go and start the baby, it should work. So we live and learn, eh? Thank you, Zibo. All these little details that we never thought of when we used the other products in the similar line, you know what I'm saying? There we go.
Well, I just started by putting my duct pressure to 30 as you did.
Yeah.
My N1 was 27 and N2 went up to 26 quite happily.
Okay, question. If you look at your duct pressure and you take your engine 1 lever and you move it to, let's say the duct pressure goes to 40%, and then you backtrack, you bring it back. That's what I did. You didn't do it. You just pushed it slowly forward until it reached 33. I think what I did was, because I pushed it too far, it actually then had to come back, but it never went back through stage 5 to the original stage where it should be. I should stop pushing too fast. I should do it more gradually, take it to 33N1, because that will put it in the right phase, right stage, at the right duct pressure.
And then when I put engine 2 to ground, the duct pressure dropped to about 22, but it's fine on N2. Interesting stuff.
Okay, and Zibo says here, and now the 9th stage have about 48 psi. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, there, 48. You see, 48 is there. I don't see 48 here. Am I blind? There, that engine 1. Engine 1 is not there yet. Oh, sorry, engine 2. Engine 2 first.
And Skymatix 052 airborne.
9 stage, 9 stage, 13.
Engine 2's at idle, so...
Yeah, engine 2 is at idle and the other one isn't. That's the difference. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now it's coming down.
Thanks for your service today. Have a good day.
Wow, that is some serious mathematics that goes in here. Eh? Some serious programming. Zibo, you are amazing. I don't know. I would never be able to do that at this level. Eh? It's just, wow. I mean, he just gives the numbers just like this. Zibo, thank you, man. This is just cool. Right, so anyway, there we go. Everything's now back to where it should be. We used the air starter. Everybody's happy. Whew. I'm sweating. I'm sweating, by the way. Wow. I'm totally amazed. Yo, William, agree with you, mate. This is like, wow. When Zibo set out 6 years ago to start this project, and he made a comment that he wants to make the most realistic 737 in any flight simulator, everybody laughed. I wonder where those guys are now. Well, I must say everybody, but a lot of people laughed, I remember. I wonder where they are now. Okay, well, let me continue, because I'm just sitting here thinking about this all now. Wow.
So I'm in the air too, sorry.
No
3 minutes now.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
He'll hand you off as soon as you're in the air too. So just the intercom.
Yeah, cool. 100%. Okay, so I need to get there. Let's see if I can understand him now. Hello Peter, good morning. Madrid Ground Tower, Skymatix 001 ready for taxi.
Skymatix 001, taxi to holding point Yankee 136 right via Echo Bravo and November Yankee.
Yankee 1436 Romeo, and we'll use Echo and Bravo Skymatix 001. I think that November Yankee 12 was the next one. November Yankee 12, I missed that one. So, let's do this. Hey, Feliz Longo, good morning. Good morning. We've got it. Let's go, guys. Oopsie. This November 26 Mike Charlie, I think it's a scenery issue. He's not really in the right place, so I'll just go left. Hope that's enough room. Yeah, looks like it. Wow. I'm gonna have to update my training checklist to include this 33% N1 story.
Approaching 1-4.
See, when you don't have all these different settings and system depth stories, you know, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden you wake up one morning and it matters.
Yeah.
Oh crap, I forgot to set my Tower Skymatix 001. We will set our squawk code just now. Apologies, sir.
Skymatix 001, say again, please.
So we forgot to set our squawk code. I will do it just now before I call ready for departure.
Copy. Call me relief of all departure.
Will do, sir. Skymatix 001. Oh hell. I just wiped it off the board. Tower, can you please give us the squawk code again? I do apologize. I seem to have wiped it off my whiteboard already. That's useless.
Skymatix 001, squawk 2661.
Squawk 2661, Skymatix 001. I think he generated a new one. It does not ring a bell, but it doesn't matter. 2, 6, 6, 1. Right, though.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
I know, but he's just assigned me another one. I was thinking the same, Krister.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Right, okay, we've got everything we need. And Tower Skymatix 001, we are ready for departure, runway 36 right.
Skymatix 001, Villa Tobas 7 Whiskey, 36 right, wind calm, clear for takeoff.
Thank you, sir. Victor Tango Bravo 7 Whiskey, departure off runway 36 right, cleared for takeoff, Skymatix 001. Oh no, it's not. I opened it, but I didn't start it.
On runway 36 right.
Thank you, Scotsman. Here we go. Toga. I see some of my settings have changed. I'll set it now in flight. Make sure they're ready for the next flight. Skymatix 001, we are airborne passing 3,500.
Skymatix 001, Unicorn 120, adios, número.
Adios amigo, and thank you for your help and patience today. Skymatix 001, switching Unicorn. You didn't know I can speak Spanish, huh? Somebody just texted here on Unicom his GPS coordinates of where he's at. Who the hell is going to copy and paste it in a program somewhere to find out where he is? Why doesn't he just give a name of a waypoint or something? That's so funny. Yeah, you see that mesh removes the orthos in this tile. You'll see as we leave the tile, it will come back. So I'll have to use the patch they've given us now to create the mesh. The mesh and the ortho tile then to work with the scenery. Yeah, thanks, Scotsman. Scotsman, thank you, Steve. Scotsman, tell me, which airports are you trying to access in the VA? Because it could be that there's a problem with the airport and I need to reload it or something. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws. But just send me in Messenger or even there in where you made that post. Just put the two airports, the to and the from. Then I can just go check them quickly. Because it might be that an airport's missing or broken or something in the database. Hello, Amar. Yeah, could be. If it doesn't find it, it doesn't like it. Yeah, so it could very well be. Just delete your plea for help, because otherwise Mako's going to go looking for it. He's obviously not on stream with us, so just delete your query then, please, please. He's very diligent. He'll go and look for it and then come back and say he doesn't see a problem, you know, and then he's wasted an hour of his time. Thank you, thank you. In the new flight I'm planning, this is what I see. There's another query here. Let's look and see. Amar, it's for X-Enviro. If you use X-Enviro, it's better to be in OpenGL because it gives you all the features that you don't usually get in Vulkan. You lose some of the functionality in Vulkan. She's not in this model. This is my pure thoroughbred Zibo mod without any add-ons or anything, because we're doing testing. I found yesterday while Zibo was giving me instruction, Linda was countering the instructions, so I made a separate version just for testing. We don't want any interference. Yesterday when we switched the fuel pumps off in that demonstration like this, she went and switched them back on. So for those of you that didn't see it, we were showing yesterday that the warnings are now configured to work as the real airplane, and the only time you're going to get the fuel and master caution warning is if you press the 6 back or if both of these fail. So that's your stage 1 warning. Stage 2 warning will be the dire one. This is the one that comes up. So and then Linda kept on interfering, so I got rid of her for the tests. There's nothing worse than knowing what you expect and then you get sabotaged, you know. It's just one of those things we get rid of. Paul.
Yes, Nico.
It is so quiet in here. What can you tell me? What else is on your mind?
A while back you said, you know, when Zibo started this project 6 years ago, people were laughing.
Mm.
And it reminded me that something I've not told you guys, and it's that about 15 years ago I decided to be a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
And everybody was laughing at me. Well, I tell you what.
Okay.
I tell you what, they're not laughing now.
Okay. Yeah, that is me. That's me. Look at that. I never reconfigured this after we played with the duct pressure. Oops. Shame. If we start to black out, we'll put on the oxygen mask quickly. It's funny. That is a good one. It's like that button. You know, that button, it does something. Remember?
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was funny. And it
No,
was
no,
said
no.
so sincerely.
No, not that one, just slightly above.
Yeah.
No, and to the right. Well, it's really important.
Yes, it does something. Oh, you gotta love it. We've had some good times together. Eh?
Oh, yes. I'm just looking at other things that have been tweaked in this version Nico. We've got a fixed EGT during engine start.
Mm-hmm.
Just earlier I couldn't get mine to hot start. I don't know whether that's the thing that's been fixed or whether it's something that I've got no idea about, as I often don't.
Mm-hmm.
They've been coming thick and fast, these fixes.
Yeah. Zibo, if you're still listening, I'm wondering the same as Paul. Can we do a hot start now, or is the hot start still not in place? He's typing. Fixed raise EGT before engine start. Okay, I know you know what that means, but for us idiots that don't, can you please explain? Does it mean that we will now get an hot start, or is hot start not implemented yet? I'm wondering. Hey, I see he's writing in the dev room. Maybe he's not listening to us. Let me just type it to him.
It's amazing how things are being modelled that we can be officially crap pilots and do things in the wrong order and get it
to work, yeah. There's the answer. Okay. He says the hot start is not implemented yet but planned, so it's coming. Ooh, then you're going to see a lot of these simulator pilots go, no, the Zibo's broken, can't start these engines. Can you imagine?
My engine's on fire.
Yeah, yeah. Hey. Check what I'm telling him now. He must add a lot of fire and smoke. Can you imagine the warning bells going and everything is happening, and you get this and it's just fire and smoke.
I mean, unless the latest version of the 738 are so clever that it doesn't permit it.
It might be, but I don't know.
Like the level up option. It just starts itself, doesn't it? Times everything itself.
Yeah. But then you need the different start levers with a different starting system with the whole FADEC or whatever runs the thing. Behind the scene, this model doesn't have it. So that could be an option in the EFB again. When Yeri brings the new throttles and things here. If you switch it on, it takes that issue away. You switch it off, and we're back to the old school. There you go.
So in theory, we should be able to bugger this version up, shouldn't we?
Yes.
Start it badly, shall we say?
Yes. Zibo's probably sitting there shaking his head. I can just see him put his head in his hand. Where does this guy come from now? And then you can see the orthos again. This is, in fact, as far as I know, this is Spain South that I've got. I think it covers this area already. Spain South from Orbex. Oh, Steve, yeah, no, I can imagine. And then we give them the training checklist, and they come back and they say, no, they read it. And you ask them one or two questions, and you realize, no, they didn't read it. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Well, Peter, what happens is if you introduce fuel into the system before it's properly heated up and ready to accept the fuel, and the igniters are running at the proper place, what basically happens is you push a lot of fuel in there, and the combustion is then so much it literally overheats it. I don't know if the Boeing engine can melt, but if you do that in some engines, you can get so hot that you actually warp the engine. That it's like blowing a gasket in your car, your head gasket. It's the same effect. You warp the aluminium. You're gonna break that engine. It's gonna cost you a couple of million to fix. If you do a hot start in the TBM, for instance, there you see the fire and the smoke, and it's amazing. Then you buy a new engine. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Andy. I see you guys have joined us here. Welcome. Only a couple of million. There was an incident at the company I worked for where somebody was asked to help somebody with a wheelchair to get into the aircraft at the back. And this somebody that was asked to help did not care for the person, the aircraft, or the wheelchair, and a portion of the aircraft was bumped. Okay, that aircraft was grounded. The cost was, I think, for that one little piece was something like $1.2 million US dollars to replace it before that aircraft could fly again. Okay, so I'm not going to give you more details than that because I don't want to talk out of the company, but just to give you an idea, things in the aircraft are expensive, and some of these things are groundable stuff. You know, if something breaks, you're talking big money and you're talking lots of problems. Yeah. Mohammed, no constraint. If it is an altitude constraint, you cannot press the standard button. If it is a flight level constraint, you have to press the flight level, well, your standard button to go to flight level. So you have to wait until you pass the altitude. Then only can you press standard. Otherwise, you're going to be on a different level than where they expect you to be. Good question. Zibo's put a smiley face.
Yeah, that's precisely why, Mohammed, that SASO recommends adding 1 foot to the transition altitude when you're setting everything up, so that apparently it appears as feet in the legs page in the FMC, and not as a flight level.
You see, so what we're talking about is this transition altitude. What SASO has showed us, what they do in the real world, is they add a 1. See? So your constraint is 13,000 for your transition altitude, and what they then do, this will be very apparent if you fly in the UK, because in the UK a lot of these climb outs from Stansted, Heathrow, you name it, a lot of these places have got altitude constraints, and one of the things that you don't want to do if your altitude constraint is on the same level as your transition altitude is to change that button too quickly, because you can effectively be 50 or 100 foot difference in altitude and cause a problem. So that's what they do. They add the little 1 at the end, and then you don't get prompted that doesn't go yellow. Remember, there's a yellow warning, and then you see, habit will then get you. Once you see the yellow, you just go press the button. So this is how they block themselves from doing it.
So in the instance where your barrow is quite different to standard, would you normally wait till you're a few hundred feet higher than that transition before you hit the button?
Yeah, you don't have to wait a few 100 feet, but as you pass it, once you've fulfilled your contract, the constraint is at the waypoint. So now you've passed the waypoint. A few seconds later, the aircraft will start to climb, or you make it climb, or it goes with VNAV. Then you just press the button. Once it's behind you, it's behind you.
Right. Yeah, because obviously if it's lower than standard, you go up, but but the other way around. Sometimes I've had a 1032, and that's quite a difference between that and your 1013. But
yeah, I wait until I'm cleared to a level, and as soon as you're cleared, you can hit that button because you're then going through the transition layer rather than hovering at the bottom edge of it.
Yeah,
That's also
at
true.
the altitude.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's not often that I've seen, well, I've found a flight that's bang on that transition level, you know, with a restriction or whatever.
Hey, Nico.
Mm.
I've just been remembering back to when I first started watching your YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I was trying to learn pretty much the basics.
Yeah.
It seemed that you actually had more time to explain the basic stuff, but things have got so complicated in the Zibo that it seems like you have to focus on the subtleties, shall we say. Do you have any dedicated videos for explaining the basics just had a quick look through, and there are thousands of vids that you've done, of course.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
it's this is almost a channel for experts, nearly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, I've got this dream to make all these training videos, and December came and went, nothing happened. Last December came and went, nothing happened. Wow, I'm gonna have to start really just taking maybe a day or two a week and just make maybe one little video and just step through the basics again with the guys.
Unless that's covered somewhere else that you've already done, if it still applies. I mean, obviously route planning still applies, doesn't it? And all that good stuff.
Yeah, that one training video that me and Zibo and Jorge and Jan did together is kind of like still very much relevant, you know. The portions that might not be relevant in our life at this point in time will be the STKP side of things, even though it's still very valid in the community, you know, and I don't want to lose the community. You know, so I'll have to revisit that at some point in time. But that video, I know it's 5-6 hours long, but that is about the basics. That's really just the basics to get you to fly from point A to point B.
Yeah,
I have a dream.
Well, I mean, you can't compress, you know, that much learning into a small space, can you?
No, you can't. You can't, unless you make like 300 videos each of maybe 5 or 10 minutes each, you know. Yeah.
I mean, there's a half an hour video behind every switch.
Yes.
To explain exactly what's going on behind.
Yeah.
Depends how detailed you want.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is evolved so much.
I think the thing is with people coming into, you know, using Zibo is they've just got to realise that it's not a 5-minute sort of, you know, can start it up and go. It's not realistic at all. And you've got to, I mean, it's close to as realistic as you're going to, you know, as it's evolving. You've got to be prepared to spend the hours. Otherwise, you're not gonna fly well, are you?
No, you won't.
I suppose some people may have the aptitude for it straight out of the box, but there's not that many of them out there, is there? So you have to be prepared to put in the hours to. And when I started using Zibo, apart from your streams, it was just a case of, like, if you had a question, Google's your friend. Although you need to know what you're trying to search for, the right question to ask, but most of the time it would send you to a tutorial type video. You know, quite often that flight deck to sim would come up, or you would come up, or there's another young fella, I can't remember his name now, that used to pop up as well. Just when you're learning the basics of, you know, programming, the FMS and that sort of thing.
My big thing is this. Number one, the guys who are serious stick around and they will go through the 6-hour video. The guys who are not serious, okay, don't want to watch it. Okay, so you do get those two types of people just off the bat, and it's a journey. Like Peter says there, it's not something you can teach somebody in a day or two or a week. It is a journey. You've got to study a lot. You've got to read a lot. You've got to understand a lot. You've got to ask a lot of questions. And a lot of people are shy to ask questions, and they mustn't be, you know. Just because we're using higher grade maths here right now, you know, as a stupid example to call it, you know, it doesn't mean we can't do the basics and we don't want to help the guys with the basics. I think, again, it just brings me back, if it's in your passion, if you're listening to my words now and this is your passion and this is in your blood, just speak up. humans. We're not superhumans. We don't have superpowers. We might, you know, be clever in certain things and so on, but you'll get there too. But you have to start asking, get involved with the community. You can't expect to learn if you don't ask questions. Obviously, if you don't want to help yourself, there are people like that. They just rely on everybody else to do all their work for them. You're going to run into a wall pretty soon, and you're going to anyway not last. You won't last long. So rather decide, do I want to do it, yes or no, and then move on if you don't want to do it. But if you are serious, you need to get involved, ask the questions, do the sitting and watching the video, then come back. You know, it's much easier to talk with you when you've got some resemblance of an understanding. You know, your comprehension will tell me whether you really watch the video or not. And I mean, I get it a lot. I get it on, I'm involved with the forum, the Facebook pages, many Facebook pages, many Discords, and it's so funny that people think they can bull dust you by saying, oh, we read it, but they can't answer the basics. You can clearly just see immediately they didn't even try, you know. And the one guy asked me the other day, yeah, you know, how do you know I didn't read it? And I said to him, if you read it, you and I won't be having this conversation. You know, that's how easy it is, because it's given to you on a silver platter. This is how it works. This is what's expected of you. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. I'd love to do the training. I'd love to start from the basics and all those things. But my life has turned out so hectic since the beginning of December. Actually, since David passed away in November. I mean, my real world work is standing on its head because I now need to do 2 people's work in a day. And then I've got my Zibo love and obligations and stuff, you know, and flying. The only little bit of rest I really get is when I do the streams, you know. Otherwise, I'm busy. And I'm going to have to find a quiet time or re-engineer my life to bring a quiet time in so I can, you know, evolve to the next step. I hope you guys understand. It's just crazy. It's very busy right now. Marco, you need to go to the web eye. Let me show you the web eye. I'm sending you a private message quickly. There's the link in Discord. I sent the link there. What I'll do is I'll quickly put it here in the stream as well. The younger generation does not understand what you sow is what you reap. You know, even karma, it's a principle they don't understand. You know, they have to grow up a little bit, become a little bit more mature, get more life experience before they actually understand what we know already. It's a sad situation, but life isn't instant. It's a lie. You know, and you just have to be patient with the poor guys. Wow, we are skirting past an ATC area. Look there. There's the ATC. Just coming past it. You're welcome. And then what I would suggest, if it is something that will, you know, work for you, is use this button. You see that plus button over there, guys. Once you are here and you've got your membership going, go find the other ticks guys, the guys that you fly with. It doesn't have to be the Skymatix VA guys, it can be anyone. You just click on the person's aircraft and you'll get the plus. You can then click the plus and it will add that person to your friends list, and effectively you'll see now it changes their colors. So when you just look at first glance at the map, you can immediately see you know, the color is different, so these are your buddies, you know, so it helps. There's ways to search that as well, and you can change the colors as far as I know. Let's quickly have a look. See here. Here you go. There's a lot of things that you can actually, you know, display, switch on, off. Paul,
you wouldn't by any chance have a video to explain how you get the moving map on your tablet there?
I do.
Would you?
I do. It is right here. Let me show you, sir. If you go to my page and you scroll down to add-ons and tutorials, the very first video there is flight route on Avitab with little nav map. And it's only 4.5 minutes, guys. So if you were wondering how I got that, there you go. There's the link, and that's how I get my track here on the map. If you follow that little video, 4.5 minutes of your life, you'll get the same. Paul,
yes.
It's amazing we wanted to start speaking to each other at the same time. But one of the things I wanted to mention to you when we were talking earlier is now just left my mind. Now I need to think about it. What the hell? Oh, you mentioned just briefly in your question the FMC, how to program the FMC. One of the problems I have in my mind is, as easy as it sounds to teach somebody how this thing works, programming this thing doesn't start here in the cockpit. It starts with flight planning. Okay? I can teach you like a parrot, and I can say to you, start with this page, then that page, then that page, fill in the blanks. But if you put the wrong information in the blanks, it's not going to help you. Okay? So where do you get the information? You get that from your OFP. Where do you get your OFP? You get it from your flight planning. You understand? So when I look at these videos where guys have like a 5-minute tutorial on how to use the FMC, I always think to myself, that's pretty good and all, but they usually don't tell the poor people watching the video where the information comes from. About 2-3 years ago, we had a whole series of how do we flight plan. I don't know if you can remember that. And we actually went through all the possibilities, and we made like 3 or 4 or 5 videos on flight planning alone, how to teach the people how to use Navigraph. You know, this thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's really odd that you get to a certain stage where things all seem to click into place, but until you get there, you know, you'll do your flight planning and it just doesn't seem to be fitting together properly. And it's, you know, maybe 1 in 10, you know, if you picked random routes, 1 in 10 will have some kind of quirk that takes a bit of experience to get through, and it's not something that you could actually train somebody to do in advance, almost.
Exactly. It's
a bugger.
Yeah. So when I do or will do my tutorials on the FMC, we're not going to start in the cockpit. We're not going to start with, you know, preferences or whatever the first keys that we press there. It's irrelevant. We're going to start with flight planning. We have to look at your flight plan. We have to look at this. How do you build this line here at the top? How do you know which runway to use? How do you know which certain star to use? How do you know what the actual track is supposed to be? You know, how do you get to the destination, your standard terminal arrival, your runway, the actual approach? Is there a transition or isn't there a transition? You know, once you know these things, then coming in here and programming this FMC is easy. You know, it's literally filling in the blanks. But I just can't fathom how anybody can expect to fill in the blanks just blindly, you know. Excellent, Scotsman. You see, now you're sitting also with the other problem. Not everybody has the finances to buy this desktop charts. You know? Yeah, the other day, they billed me 2-3 weeks ago. I got the shock of my life. I didn't realize it was time for the yearly renewal. Sure. It's a bit of a surprise, you know. And for that, we probably will have to use little navmap, you know, to get into little navmap and teach the guys flight planning there. But look, at the end of the day, it's all about the flight planning. It's nothing else. Once the flight planning is done, the rest is easy. See, if you don't do it right, and I like what you say there, you've spent a lot of time on it. If you don't do it right, what you get is, you get the guys that come on the forum, VNAV is not working, this aircraft is descending so fast, it overspeeds, it rips my wings off, it shudders, it does this and that and the other. But they never learn to flight plan properly. Why are you diving? Why? I know of one real world route where it's required for you to dive, and that's going into Spokane. And you know, that's just the way it's been designed. You know, but that's where pulling the speed brake lever comes in. You've got to learn that you need to pull it. You know, don't be shy of it, and things like that. But people don't step through their flight plan. You know, they put the thing in there, they rely on the automation and that pretty magenta line, but they never step through their flight plan. And the most famous error that I get on support is, I was locking onto the ILS and all of a sudden my aircraft turned around and flew a different way. You know, so they forgot to set their course headings. Both course headings is the one solution, and the other one is because they didn't step through, they actually didn't realize there's a waypoint behind them. So now the Zibo is faithfully complying with the flight plan they gave them. Then it has to go back, find the missing, you know, waypoint behind it and turn around. But no, the Zibo is not working. You know what I'm saying? And that's all part of the flight planning experience. It's all part of learning how to program the FMC correctly. One question regarding the wind data in the perf init page. Do you put the top of climbs or the average cruise wind data? My friend, it depends on who you speak to. Okay, when we train the pilots, I'll show you. Let's do that. When we train the initial pilots, okay, we try and obviously make it easy, right? We don't want to confuse them. We don't want to give them an additional load. So when you look at the OFP, this is the SimBrief OFP that we have here, right? It literally, in the Lido format, it gives us the average winds, okay? Now, those average winds is what I use, and I'll tell you why I use them. In the real world, Sasso tells us, they actually scroll down, they go and find the top of the climb, and they use those winds, because for him it's logical. There it says top of climb, and there it gives you the winds. Alright, but for our purposes, and because this is flight simulation, we teach the guys to use the average winds simply because it's so easy to find. Okay, you don't get confused, it's there. I'll tell you another thing that you need to be careful of, right? If you look at this, this is OBS. It's the observation time for the winds. Okay? Those observation times means on the 13th of the month at 00. That means at midnight. Some computer somewhere was loaded with data, the wind data, and it ran a simulation. That printout is then distributed to all the aircraft companies and all the aviation people. Okay, so that is midnight Zulu time. It is currently 10:16 Zulu, which means that the winds here and here, where's top of climb? There's top of climb. Those winds are 10 hours old. Okay, the chances of those winds, this one or the other one, being 100% accurate is 0. There's no chance, not a snowball's chance in hell. Okay, and unless your weather engine reads the same data, which will then make it true. So even though it's old, it will still be current in your simulator. Okay, I don't see a point between using that one, or as an average, or the one at top of climb, because it's 10 hours old. If you use, for instance, let's just use it as an example, something like Active Sky, or and I mean, I don't have the experience to really say this, so I'm just going to keep quiet about Xenviro, but it could be the same. When you look at a program like that, it might be that they are putting current winds in there, and then it's not going to be the same, and this is why I've done training on that with some of the guys as well. Then you go to the actual Active Sky briefing, and then you'll see, but for me, there's no difference based upon the evidence I've just produced for you. It's 10 hours old. What's the chance of that wind still being correct? So it's probably going to be close, depending on if there's a hurricane coming through or some storm or something. It will be reasonable, and that's what we do. We just say, listen guys, use it. It's just easy because it's given to you right there in your face. And the same goes for your ISA. There it is. Just because it's conveniently given to you there, that's why we teach them. It's not to be funny, it's not to be silly, it's not to be controversial. You are more than welcome to come to where that's top of descent, there's top of climb, and then come and pick up those winds. It's not going to make that big a difference. What is, however, going to make a massive difference, and you have to understand this is the utmost important thing on this page, is the actual destination QNH, because the system, the whole code in the aircraft, in the real world as well as in the Zibo, depends on the QNH to be correct for your destination. Because if that is not correct, especially RNAV, is going to put you on the wrong elevation. You will either be high or low, and you might actually fly into the ground, while your little diamonds, when you're using Ian, is actually telling you you're on your VNAV path, and you're not, because this was wrong. This is crucial to be right. Even if you don't fill in any of this, it's much of a muchness, small impact, but that one can cause death. That one can really kill you. Okay, so please always put that in. And for that, okay, please don't use real world sources or all kinds of funny things. Okay, use the system that is in your X-plane. All right, so for me, I'm using Xenviro, so I'm going to go GMMN, and I'm going to search. This is what is actually in my X-plane. Okay, sorry, I'm not showing you, it's there hidden. There we go. You see so I've got 1023 currently, and I'll check it a little bit later, but while we're here, let's just put it in there already. Okay, so I'm just going to put it into the standby as well, just to remind me to check it later again. So we're going to put it 1023. There's 1023. See, in standby now as well. Okay, so even if you skip the winds, that you must not skip, because the Zibo depends on it, just like the real aircraft, to put you at the right altitude when you are supposed to be at the right altitude. Anthony, often ATC will give you a SID that you don't have in the FMC, and then they want you to try figure out what's what. Hence pre-planning is vital. Yes, well, look at what happened with me today. Whether it was just because I was tired or I really just didn't notice it, I don't know, but I had a problem with the SID. If you go back and watch the beginning of this video, you'll see I did have a problem. I found some of the portions in the Zibo and a different thing in Navigraph and vice versa, so I had to tell the ATC, I don't see it, please give me another one, and he did. So also remember that you can request another one. If he can't, then ask him for vectors. Put the onus back on him to then get you to where you need to be. Okay. Yeah, Scotsman. Me too. It's just now a habit. I just use the average winds as explained. Okay, and performance calculation wise, is the average wind more advantageous perhaps? You know what? Me personally, I think so. If you think about a dirt road, you know, after a bit of rain, you know, if you go and you drive over it, you're going to go as you go over it. And if you've got a lot of wind changes, you know, you're going to have different performance situations. The correct way of doing it, the correct way is this, okay? You need to go to the legs page. So on a flight like this, I don't do it. I don't usually sit here and do it, but this is the correct way. So you go to your legs page, you go to route data. Okay, now we've already passed the place where I can really show you, but listen, you can find TUSOR quickly here, just before there's TUSOR. You see the TUSOR winds is, let's zoom in, is 357 at 61. You see it's a little bit different. So what Alex taught me a while ago when we were doing those other official tutorials is in the real aircraft he goes, and I'll give you the parameters now. I just want to put this in 357 at 61. Alright, so what you'll do is you will physically match the winds. This is the correct real world way. You match the winds with every one of the waypoints. Okay, now when you go here, let's do this one as well. Now we are nearing the descent, so let's do this. In SimBrief, it's usually the descent winds are at 200, 150 and 100. Guys, I just want to dial in a lower value so the aircraft will descend. I'll catch up with it just now. Okay, so if we scroll down and we use these descent winds, there you can see 356 at 29. At 29. There we have 347 at 15. And then we have 339 at 5. 339 at 5. Then we execute it. Right, now we go back to the legs page and we go to the route data. You see now it's got the 355. You see it looks like it's interpolating as it's going down. So 355 at 35. And as you step through, you'll now pick up on, you see there, it's got the 339 at 5 eventually, and then it's got the 347 is not showing it. Skip that one. But you see how it works. You know, the one page interacts with the next page. You can do it. That's the way the real guys do it. We just don't focus on it. You know, in the flight sim situation, we just don't. If you want me to do it next time, remind me. You know, on a longer flight, there's no point in doing it for an hour flight. You know, you go up, you go down. It's so quick. You might have 2 waypoints at the top, and then you go down. But if, let's say, for instance, you do a 5-hour flight, you know, New York to Los Angeles, you know, for instance, as an example, you're going to have a hell of a lot of waypoints, and you can actually, you know, take away a lot of boredom by actually finding the waypoint, going to your legs page, looking for it. Sorry, going to route data first, looking for it, and then actually matching it, you know. So the theory behind it is it's supposed to help you with your fuel economy. It's supposed to help you with better ETA calculations. There's a whole bunch of, you know, supposed positive things that you can get. I would love to have what the PMDG has, where they've got an upload link for the weather. Okay, so maybe one day Zibo can look at that. I haven't really spoken to him about it. This is just me winging it now, right? So don't take it further than this. It's just talk. But I mean, it would be nice to just have a wind upload thing. It talks to your weather engine, whatever the weather is in X-Plane, and it automatically populates this for you. You know, whether that's realistic or not, I don't know. You know, if it's not realistic, it won't get put in. But that's the way they do it. You know, the other thing is, like I said, take away your boredom. Go find your waypoint, find the wind, add them one by one. Oh, and the rule is this. What Alex said to me is, if the degrees, your directional degrees, is more than 10 degrees, or the wind speed is more than 10 knots, then he will do that waypoint. Okay, so if you have within 10 degrees and 10 knots, you can skip a couple, you know, and then you see one that's like at 20 knots or 15 degrees difference, then he does that one again, and then it will populate until he gets to the next one that's a bit way out. So you don't have to do each one, if it's within those parameters, 10 degrees or 10 knots. But that's another way of doing it, how they do it in the real world.
And if you actually watch your progress page where you can see your ETA at the destination, you can see that change as you put the winds in.
I'm
so
over
you can actually see the effect. Oh dear.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, Paul, you're right. You can see the effect. Please continue.
And I think regarding the real world practice, obviously if you have got, let's say, a huge tailwind coming into the airfield, you need to start the descent earlier. So you need to tell the plane those descent winds so it can start that descent earlier. So it's all there for a very good reason.
Now, if you go back in time, the amount of time I've just taken to explain just this one component, we're back at that half an hour per video. Paul?
Yep, there we are.
And this is what the new guys don't grasp sometimes. It's going to take time. You can't compare somebody like me that's been flying this aircraft since 2006 with somebody that started last week, or last year for that matter. A lot of guys are clever and they pick up, quickly. But just as we're bringing through Zibo here all the depth of systems, you're going to have to develop the depth of your knowledge as well. It's not about a magic parlor trick. It's not a magic trick. You can't learn a trick and then go and try and impress people. You've got to understand where the trick comes from, what's in it, what's behind it, where it's going to, what the influence is on this, that, and the other. Alright, so I see you asked about the real world approach. That's why I told you the 10 knots or 10 degree difference. That is very important. And that's how they do it in the real world, or at least Alex and his company. That's their SOP. You're welcome, Scotsman. Right, so while we're descending, I was just given my lunch. I'm going to mute my mic. Guys, I'm still here, I'm listening, so talk to me. I'll type back, I'll respond the moment I'm able. Steve and Peter, you remind me of a little cartoon thing I saw a while ago on Facebook that came on my timeline here, where there's only one guy on the aircraft and the stewardess comes and tell him, well, so congratulations, you're the only one on this aircraft. The people that were going to the psychic convention all cancelled at the last moment. They know something you don't. Christian, it depends on if you can handle it or not. What I would recommend, if you want to try it out, make a copy of your current Zibo, then use that folder, the copy, and upgrade that one. We are obviously testing this. These are not released, proper released versions, so this is a release candidate. So don't go mess up your version 29 unless you are confident you're okay, to do that. Rather make a copy, upgrade the copy, go fly the copy. When you're done with it, delete it if you have to, or make that your new default Zibo. Yeah, no, stick to 29 then. I don't think we're far off from the release of 52 full. Obviously, I can't speak on Zibo's behalf. He makes the final, call and decision on that one. But I don't think we're far off. Things are looking really great. The biggest challenge that I see for me is understanding it myself, exactly what's happening and not happening. Like you saw earlier in the stream, and if you didn't, rewind it later, go check. I'm going to have to upgrade my training checklist very definitely because of the new parameters, because of the system depth that's now been implemented. So the problems that I foresee in 52 is going to be a lot of guys are going to turn around and say, but it used to work and you can fix it and then I'll come back to the Zibo. You know how many people say that, and then they don't realize it's called progress. Every day things gets added and gets made better, so what do? The guys are going to have to learn a little bit, I think. Depends also on what they want to do. I mean, if they... Why am I not descending? Why am I not descending?
MCP.
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah, I didn't tune it down. Idiot. Thank you, Paul. Save my bacon. I would have lit up in 2 minutes time and then I would have been so high. Where do we need to descend to? 3,600, that's what. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Well, you are multitasking.
I'm doing many
Eating,
things.
talking, streaming, explaining things, and trying to fly.
Yeah.
I have to turn the sound off so that I can see better.
Yeah. Hello, Tommy. I don't know if I said hello to you. I saw your comment in there in between all those laughing faces and I was still eating. Sorry, man. Hello and welcome. It is about a full-time job, I'm telling you. You know, and if you lose track, my biggest fear at this point in time is going on holiday. You know, not being here for 2 weeks. Coming back and then you guys say to me, oh, did you see this and that and the other? And I go, what the hell are you talking about? No, no. Yeah, that's what I fear.
Yeah, well, it's a couple of weeks ago now. You must have been talking to the guys on Discord and I wasn't around. And then you mentioned, oh, yeah, when you do your orthos, there's this thing that can check that they work properly. No, I had no idea. I just didn't happen to be around when it was being spoken about. So
Exactly.
You're right. If you're away for turn you back for more than a couple of days.
Yeah, you're behind.
Behind, yeah.
Yeah. I've just basically answered it maybe a minute before you came onto the stream. I don't know the release date, but it can't be far off. Must be close. I press speed, not speed intervent, altitude intervent to go down. In hindsight, Christian, I should have pressed level change.
Hedgehog Peter donated $17.03. Thanks again, Nico. Appreciate all the work.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thanks for your tip. Means a lot to me too. No, in hindsight, when you are at this low altitude, it's better to use level change than the altitude intervent. It's just that way, and I didn't think of it. Now that you mention it, I should have used that. Ooh, we're fast. We're at 145, so we can come down to 150. Almost tore the flaps off. Yeah, altitude intervention is what I used, but at this low altitude, it's better to use level change. I've seen it many times. Level change is actually the better one. My finger was just close to the joystick button, so I just pressed. You see, and now I've been talking so much. We never captured that ILS glide slope. See, that happens in a split second when you don't pay attention.
Radio altimeter.
Hope you guys learn from my mistakes today.
Yeah, and all the book learning's all well and good, but when it comes to situations that crop up, you've got to be taught. What happens when?
Yeah, exactly. And then you need to not only be taught, you need to now go practice with it. My trim wheel is not registering. I have to use the yoke button, I see, to get the trim set up. Alright, the two big things we've been working on in the last 2 days is the new fuel system and also the new air pressure system. Everything related to air pressure, everything related to fuel. There's a new setting in the EFB for failures related to the air system, and Yeah, that's the focus. When it gets released, I'll obviously and you can obviously follow the README. The changelog is in there, and if there's anything that's not in there, you can find all my announcements on Facebook in the Zibo Pilots group or the Zibo community group or on the forum, the Zibo forum. Now we've got a couple of places where I post and tell you guys all the differences. My hands are full, guys. Sorry, I can't use automatic Unicom now. I'm skipping it.
200. Approaching minimums. 100. Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Long landing, 10,000 feet remaining.
Don't do what I do, please. What an idiot. What an idiot. I didn't pull the levers far enough, so it didn't go into reverse, and then I almost tow-got again.
Oh, man.
Dummy dum-dum. It comes from sleep deprivation. I think I need to go sleep an hour. I think that's going to do me the world's good.
It looked alright from my view. So.
Yeah, cool. See, that's why most simmers show you the landing from the outside, because you can't judge the problems, you know, unless you're in the cockpit. It's a cheap trick. Right, whoever's behind me, runway is vacated. Right, let's park off here. Yeah, you gotta think on your feet, eh? Oh, that's useless. It was on auto, fortunately for us. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for watching. Right, so we've got Anthony, and then we've got... forgot your name, hold on. Tell you now. Marco, and then we've got Neil, all coming in. Excellent. No worries, Scotsman. Agter ons kom ook in die kraal. That's a saying we have here. The last ox that's at the back will also get into the corral. We'll keep the gate open just long enough.
17 left.
And there we at the gate. Yeah, welcome Anthony, welcome David. David was first. Who do we have online that we can actually see? Oh yeah, okay. Marco. There he goes. That's the last pilot in the group that we can actually see. Scotsman's not flying on one. There's no ATC Scotsman. Ooh, he's landing on the other runway. I can see. Yeah, I just noticed. Yeah, welcome. Very well done. Well, Scotsman, if you think you're on and you can taxi to the gate, we'll check you there. We'll meet you at the Milky Lane or one of these milkshake places. We'll have a milkshake or ice cream and fly back home. Gents, ladies, thank you for watching. I'm going to call it a day now. Thank you so much for joining us a little bit. I'm not sure we're going to fly again early tonight. I need to go to David's family that I need to go pick up a couple of things and just spend some time with them. It's not easy when you lose the husband and father in the home, so we need to just go and spend some time with them, and we'll be back, and then we'll see what happens with the rest of the flying stories in the virtual world. Until we speak again, go enjoy your Sunday and enjoy what you do. Be good.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.